Mark Pellegrino.
Stage, right? Look at the size of the audience. We're in Minneapolis, babies. Rocking the house. How you guys doing? It's too early for me to tell. I got my coffee. Wow, the stage is...
Right? It's like a proper stage.
This is a proper stage. It's a proper auditorium.
Not really a proper audience, though. You should know.
But I like that it's an improper audience.
Right, exactly. It throws everybody off who walks out. It's fun for us to watch the surprised look. For starters, usually when you take the stage, by the time you take one step on stage, you're already in Billy's personal space. Like you're just right. Now, yeah.
This is cavernous. This is like a whole new country. I think bigger than the Vatican City.
We have. Mark and I have known each other a long time. We've all known each other a long time. There was a while there at the beginning when Mark wasn't doing conventions, and he and I were talking about it. He's like, "Well, what's going on? What's it all about?" You know. So I finally coerced Mark to come to a show and to hang out at karaoke and all these things. And Mark is a very reserved fellow when you don't know him that well, and he's kind of assesses things from a distance. As he was doing on the convention circuit early on, and he would sit backstage and be like, "I'm not going out there. I'll just sit here and watch. Want a scotch? Well, I might have one." And about 2 hours later, super reserved, ominous, intimidating Mark Pellegrino was standing on cocktail tables singing Big Balls. So the man...
Well, at least I'm capable of change.
That's what I'm saying.
Adaption and change.
And expect the unexpected. Don't rest on your laurels thinking you know what this man is, because you do not. Ladies and gentlemen, Minneapolis, Minnesota, God, Mark Pellegrino.
Hi, Dad. I got you later on. Work. What's up, guys? Are we gonna have a little conversation? Just the 1,000 of us? Let's do it. I love the Q&A thing. I love answering your questions. I think I can answer them better now. I don't know if you've heard, but I've become a bit of a supernatural fanatic myself. I resisted it, for years, because I'm a contrarian, and if somebody says you should watch this, I say, fuck off, I'm gonna do what I want. I'll watch it when I want to. You gonna watch it now? No. Notice how I channeled the little Mark Sheppard? No. Well, a few months ago, I started watching the show. I'm in the middle of season 10. A little addicted. An evening goes something like this. Turn to my wife, Tracy. You want to watch a little Supernatural? Yeah, let's watch it. One show, that's it. Okay, one show. Turn it on. 5 shows later. 2 o'clock in the morning. We should really sleep. I know, but Sam's dying and the angels are falling. We gotta see what's happening next. They're in a car and they're talking to each other. Don't they realize that last season he was dying? Oh, it's a dream. Now I'm on the roller coaster ride with the rest of you. I'm a happy addict. Right? It's a good addiction. I think the one thing that this world lacks nowadays is a respect for the heroic. And one thing that you get in spades in the show is heroism and loyalty. Great virtues, right, for all of us to aspire to. Especially when the world seems so dark, you need to know there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And the light at the end of the tunnel is virtues like loyalty and courage and all the things that boys practice in spades. All right, guys, let's do a Q&A. Let's do it. Who do I go to first? Eeny, meeny, miny, miny. Go ahead.
I'm Ashley. My question is, what was your opinion on Misha's portrayal of her character, Lucifer?
Well, first of all, I gotta say that I was really honored that he came to me and spoke to me about it and wanted to learn how I would do things, because he wanted to portray Lucifer in a way, though sort of the way I would with his own spin on it, which I thought was a really cool thing to do, because he didn't have to do that. And I've only seen a few scenes because I'm only in season 10, so I'm not quite up there yet, but the scenes that I've seen were really funny. And that's what makes Lucifer lovable, right? Is that he does really bad things, and he really likes that he's doing the bad things, and it's sort of fun that he's doing terrible things to people. And I think Misha probably captured that very well, but I won't be able to tell you until season 12 starts, because that's when season 11 comes out on Netflix, right? What is the logic behind that? Huh? Yeah, I know, but I'm ready for season 11 right now. Why do I have to wait for the beginning of season 12 to get my season 11? I want it now! So anyway, I was honored that he chose to sort of incorporate some of my characteristics into his performance. It was a nice homage.
Did you give him any tips?
Yeah, we sat down, we talked for a little while, and my wife was shadowing the director during the episode where Misha came out as Lucifer, and they would text back and forth, and in between takes, and she would say, "That's not Mark. Oh, that is. Stick with that." You know, so yeah, he took notes well, apparently. Is that weird? Is that weird? Is that weird? What's up?
Hi.
Hey.
My question is, if you had a hellhound, what would you name it?
I already have a hellhound. I have 2 hellhounds.
What are their names?
Frankie is one hellhound. He's my little dachshund hellhound. And Johnny. Frankie and Johnny. And the Claire de Lune. If you had a hellhound, what would you name him?
That's a good question.
Gertrude. It's got to be something like Gertrude.
I like that. That's a good one.
Or Bunny.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Hello, Puffy.
Probably
Bunny.
name it Fluffy after Harry Potter.
Huh?
Probably Fluffy.
Fluffy's
after Harry
good.
Potter.
That's good. I like Fluffy. Hellhounds. Those old hellhounds. Do we have other questions? You guys are so far away. The studio, this thing is cavernous. I'm working up ped points walking from one end of the stage to the other. What's up?
Hi. So I wanted to know your opinion on what you thought about when you were acting hallucinated Lucifer in season 7.
What I thought about?
Well, yeah, because so I suffer from depression, and that Sam's struggle was very powerful for me to watch that, and I thought you did a really good job of portraying just like the constancy of mental illness.
Oh, wow. Thank you. I mean, for me, it was not a matter of thinking so much about that, which is a great thing to get from a series of scenes like that. For me, it was just about torturing Sam. And that's all I tried to do, is make him as miserable as I possibly could. And the more miserable he looked, the more satisfying it was for me. Isn't that terrible? But I think Sam had an interesting solution, right? What was the solution to the Lucifer in his head problem?
Well, initially pain, which is...
Well, focusing his attention outside of himself, right? That's what I think that did. And for me, I've suffered from depression and generalized anxiety disorder, PTSD, you name it. I'm in the same boat with many of you guys. And the only thing that helps me with things like that, take it with a grain of salt because we're all individual, right? And we each need our own unique means of approaching these problems. But for me, putting my attention on something else, it's something that's beautiful, another thought pattern helps me sort of derail that spinning internal thing that can just send you into a pit of despair, right? I mean, so that, what do they call it? I think a mindfulness meditation really helps me understand that I can control the content of my thoughts and where they go, and that the thoughts don't have to oppress me or overcome me. That I'm talking about people without brain dysfunction, guys, without chemical disorders. Of course, you need help in that area. I'm just talking about situational stuff that you can sort of control with your will. So I thought that was an interesting solution for Sam. At first I made fun of it. I'd be like, what the fuck? But yeah, right, do that, Sam, do it! But it does work, I've found, right? I mean, I think we need the beautiful in our lives, don't you think, guys? We focus on a beautiful piece of art, you know, and it tells us that it's achievable, the good is possible. Because when you're in a state of depression, there is no good that's possible, right? So it's good to come into the now and to understand that it is achievable, even if you don't feel that at the moment. Somewhere down the line, the law of undulation is going to swing in the right direction, and you'll recognize the beauty for what it is.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks. Take care. Yeah, we're all in this human family together, aren't we? Right? I think the supernatural family is sort of a real concrete example of that, because we all try to help each other out, right? Lift each other up. Give each other words of wisdom and advice, because we're in the battle, we're in the trenches together, yeah? And what use is it all unless you're being of use? Unless you're helping your fellow man out. What's up?
Hey,
What's up?
I wanted to ask if you have any vices, any bad habits that you want to get rid of.
Oh yeah. That's the title of my biography. Vices and bad habits that I'd like to get rid of. Sure. I think some of them, I don't know that I should consider emotional states vices, but I think they can be vices if you let them get the better of you. I think being fearful can be a vice that I have. Believe it or not, I have fearfulness. The way I grew up, you know, kind of put that into my soul as a default mechanism that I have to overcome every day. You know, if you grew up tough in tough circumstances, you know, your body and brain adjusts to that turmoil. And kind of forms you into something that's not necessarily good for your life, and you have to every day, it never stops, I'm sorry to say, every day overcome what, you know, your early life has given you. So definitely fear, not any kind of fear, some fear is very rational, but irrational fear. I think procrastination, right? Fear of my own goodness, too. There's fear of being good, fear of being recognized, fear of standing up and owning something. Procrastination's a big one, guys. Big one. Especially as a writer. I'm writing now, and I do just about anything else but write. So I have to get off Twitter, right. So procrastination is a bad one. I think those are my main ones. I constantly have to remind myself to be active-minded. You know, you can get set in a way of looking at the world and sort of impose that map on everything instead of rigorously searching for the truth, rigorously being rational. See, that's a fault, is allowing myself from time to time not to be rational. And I think our culture teaches us to respect and emulate and embrace the irrational, and I think that does not give us the proper tools for living and happiness, to be honest with you. We've embraced emotionalism as a culture, And so it disarms us for dealing with our emotional issues, believe it or not. So yeah, the rigorous attention to reason is almost, takes almost monk-like discipline. And I don't have that yet. But at my age, I'm starting to get there, and I'm starting to see the validity of a philosophy that I've embraced for many years, but I'm actually starting to see how it works. And that's weird. You can learn something for a decade or 2 decades, and suddenly after that time, look at the concept and go, wow, it is right. Isn't that weird, the way knowledge trickles down into your subconscious? Was that enough? Was that too much? Awesome. Thanks, Dave. Life is interesting, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Right? Interesting? Even the challenges, even the bad stuff. I've been overcoming a challenge since April 20th. My best friend of 30 years committed suicide. Yeah. Hey. On that note... Sorry.
Hi.
What's up?
I'm Brooke. Wow, my voice sounds weird. My question for you is how playing Satan and even watching the show has changed your personal beliefs and just who you are.
Good question. I've learned to have a great deal of respect for the character of Lucifer. Sort of immediately he appealed to my rebellious side. I despise authoritarianism, and I respect human liberty. And the fact that he was the first rebel, and that forever, since the beginning of time, he's been vilified for questioning authority, for simply asking an authoritarian, why? Somebody wanted to applaud. I heard a teeny bit of applause. Tentative, but brave, because you were the only one. That fact that he was an anti-authoritarian, that he had pride, which is an emotion that has been handed down to us over the generations as an evil thing, when it's not. It's made me feel like, even though I'm doing this little show that's filmed in Vancouver, I'm actually and I do bad things in the show, I'm actually standing up for the principle of autonomy, for the principle of independence, for the principle of your own mind directing your action, even though it's directed in the pursuit of terrible things. So I feel like Mark Twain sort of did, that Lucifer's been given a bad rap, and I need to stand in the gap and rewrite a little bit of our moral history. So it's not that he's changed me and playing the part has changed me so much as the more I understand certain concepts, the more wedded to him I become. That's so weird. I'm not saying that no matter who plays him, I'm the real Lucifer. I'm just saying I get the guy. What about you? Do you get those virtues from Lucifer?
Yeah, I really did, and it's really changed my beliefs just watching the show because, I was an atheist until I was like 10 years old, and then I got thrown into Catholicism by my grandpa. And now I'm just kind of floating, and I see Lucifer kind of, not as Satan, not as like the devil, like king of hell, but more like a prosecutor angel.
Interesting. Well, interesting. The bringer of justice. Oh, we could talk about that. All right, guys. Good. God, you guys are making me think. This is... Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Deep Thoughts with Pellegrino. I like being real with you guys. I don't fuck around. I'm not here to entertain, I'm here to build. I'm here to love you. I'm here to learn. I'm here to grow, to be better. What's up?
My question is actually about being human.
Yeah.
I wanted to know, do you think Bishop, even though he gives Aiden a lot of crap a lot of the time about being weak, do you think he was secretly proud of Aiden in the end, considering Aiden was the one who killed him in 2 timelines?
Yeah, that relationship between Bishop and Aiden actually disturbed me in real life in a lot of ways because, and I sort of get it. I mean, I think it sort of mirrors our relationship with our parents in a lot of ways. You know, they make mistakes and we hold them accountable for those mistakes for decades. And I think Bishop was always trying to make up for something with him. And it made the relationship terribly frustrating. I really got to identify with being a father and how the father is put outside the loop because of things they've done that make for irreconcilable differences. And in spite of all of that, there's this tie between them that is it's irrevocable. And Bishop did acknowledge a respect for Aiden's power and ability and did want to pass the mantle to him, irrespective of what Aiden thought of him. Bishop was able to recognize that he was a great man. That's why he brought him into the fold in the first place, because he was a warrior, fighting for a cause, I think an interesting cause. What do you think?
No, I agree. I don't think Bishop would have had it any other way.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? I think he was a good dad in the end. Right? Do you think? The best he could be. That's all any of us can say, right? Good. Thanks. Poor Bishop. More than his relationship with Aiden, I think what disturbs me most about Bishop was his hair. Want to know how that happened? All right. I had my hair dyed for something else, some other project. And when I got onto the set, they tried to duplicate that hair and it came out orange. And then the way we styled it was like, that's not, no. Like 3 months into the shoot, I said, you know, I kind of wanted to slick my hair back, and the hairdresser was like, really? You could have done that? So I was stuck with that crazy hair. I think with the exception of Lucifer, my hair in most shows is bad.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Good. The very first question I ever asked you at a convention, at my first convention, was to talk about The Last Train.
Yeah.
And at my last convention,
Which you're in.
which I am in,
Yeah.
yes, I was in The Last Train. I would like to ask you about The Last Train, if you would talk about it, please.
Yeah, The Last Train is a movie that I helped to produce. My wife Tracy directed it. It's about 2 people who try to commit suicide at the same time and fail. One person tries to jump in front of the train, the other person wants to do it and stops him from doing it, but she doesn't want their parts to mix. And they start to have a relationship, and through that relationship, you know, I don't want to give it away, but stuff happens. Stuff happens that might change their perspective on life. And right now it's making the festival circuit. I think we have a festival in September, and there's a bunch of other festivals where it's going to be shown. And it's become a part of a campaign that I'm endorsing for Attitudes in Reverse called Keep Hope Alive. Woo. Yeah, man. And I hope through this to, you know, be a part of that conversation that destigmatizes mental health issues and depression. I think part of the problem, you know, that people have is the shame of coming out, right? The shame of needing help, the shame of saying I'm broken and I need a little assistance here. And when we recognize that and open ourselves up to the conversation, I think we can ease a great burden in people's lives, and it's the burden of overcoming the obstacle of revealing who you are, yeah, and what's going on. So I think that movie in its own little way will contribute something to the conversation that's very helpful. You know, the writer, it was based on a play. The writer and the main actor in the movie, Anthony Montez, actually did attempt suicide. Did you know the story?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. He jumped in front of a train in New York, and at the very last minute changed his mind and I guess crunched himself up against the wall. The train hit his elbow. I think it broke his elbow, but he survived. He survived to tell the story, and I think that's what we as survivors can do, is pass on our experience to other people and help them grow from our experience, right? Isn't that the part of the beauty of humanity? Is we have libraries full of books and wisdom, and each and every individual has a story to tell that can help us and save us from bad experiences like that. And I think something very positive will come from his story. What's up?
Oh my Chuck, I can't believe I'm actually talking to Satan. My question was, have you ever read fan fiction?
No.
Well, you said you were a writer, so do you write it?
There's something behind that question. Would I ever write it? Actually, funny that you ask. My wife and I have been thinking about writing an episode of Supernatural.
Yes.
But since I'm procrastinating, it probably won't be done till season 16. But she had a great idea for the show, which I have not seen done yet. So hopefully it doesn't happen in this next season, and we can submit it and see where it goes. But yeah, we're interested in writing a little something for the show.
Yes, please.
Oh, how sweet. You say that now. Wait till you see it. Thank you, dear. What's up?
Hi. It's been bugging me for a while. You commented on the new Fox episodes of Lucifer, and I was wondering what you thought of Tom Ellis' version of him.
Oh, I haven't seen it. I was just busting his balls. Just because I can, and why not? Lucifer is, it's an iconic part, like Hamlet, every actor is going to put their own signature on it. And I'm sure he's doing quite well with telling that story. And I wish him all the luck in the world. In reality, I do. I wish him... Bastard. No. I wish him all the luck in the world. I heard it's a good show. Yeah.
Yeah.
There can be many Lucifers that we love, right? You can love them, and it doesn't necessarily affect your love for me. And I understand in the next season, Lucy's got to wander a bit. He's got to wander. A good man is going to wander from time to time till he gets home again. Look, I'm fucking with you. I'm putting things in your minds.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
I'm really nervous, so if I stutter a lot, sorry. So I just wanted to say that I really loved your character, Lucifer, on Supernatural, but my question is actually about Lost, Jacob. And I was just wondering how it was playing Jacob and how it compares to playing Lucifer on Supernatural.
I was playing them at the same time.
Really?
Yeah, I would work on Lost, then fly to Vancouver to work on Supernatural, and fly back to Hawaii to work on Lost, which is interesting. I actually, I loved working on the show. I love working with all the people. I know everybody fucking says that. That's so, after a while you gotta think, bullshit. Somebody has to be an asshole on the show, but there really wasn't. They were humble and sweet and really embraced me. So it was really fun. But I found myself, being the contrarian that I am, listening to the man in black during scenes going, man, there's nothing wrong with what you're saying, bud. Nothing wrong at all. In fact, I like what you're saying. Leave the island. Explore the world. Know, grow, become better. Isn't that? So I was sort of the Jacob, sort of who was supposed to be God, I guess, right? So something like that. Became a symbol for sacrifice. I hate that word. I hate it. You know what sacrifice means? What does sacrifice mean? Giving up something of greater value for something of lesser value. How fucked is that? That's supposed to be good? That's moral? Look what he did to those poor people. What? What did you say? No. But I think people got a great deal out of it. I think the overall message of, if this was the overall message, that we sort of lift one another up and help each other through our paths in life, was essentially very good. I think it was beautiful, right? I mean, I cried at the end. It was the only episode I watched. Were you?
Me and my sister, we watched it together because our parents loved it. So they're like, hey, when you're older, watch the show, and you're sobbing by the end of it.
When that dog laid down next to Jack, I just lost it. Any dog in any frame of any film, I lose it.
Yeah.
Okay, the stupidest movie I have ever cried in.
Homeward Bound.
Was Scooby-Doo. First of all romantic movies I cry like a baby. But Scooby-Doo, there was one moment I literally lost it. I'm sitting there with my wife, my stepson, my stepdaughter, and I lose it. You should have seen the expression on my stepdaughter's face. She's like, because I lost it out loud, like Notebook out loud, like that. Like embarrassing. And it was the time, it was when Scooby-Doo said to Shaggy, "I love you, Raggy." I thought it was like my dog Frankie saying it to me, and I just lost it. I fell apart. I'm not afraid of that, guys. I'm not afraid of the tears. What's up?
Hi. My question was, how much of when you're in the background, when you were in the background of scenes as the hallucination Lucifer was scripted, and how much did you make up? Like, there's a scene where you're in the background pretending to blow bubbles and popping them.
Actually, I was
like,
looking...
they don't even acknowledge you, they just walk by it, and it's really hilarious.
Do you want to know what I was actually doing in that? I wasn't blowing bubbles and popping them. I saw that somewhere online. It was really cold, and when you breathed, you know, the condensation came out of your mouth like smoke, so I was actually trying to blow smoke rings and put my finger through the rings. There's nothing else for me to do. Sitting back there, tormenting Sam. But that tongue was disturbing, right? That was Thomas Wright's. That wasn't written in there. The split tongue. That was Thomas Wright. Thomas Wright has directed a number of episodes, including Baby, which is one of my favorite episodes. And he ironically he directed one of the first films I ever did, a bad movie called No Holds Barred. You're killing me. But he directed it, and I didn't see him for 20 some odd years until those episodes. That was the first time I saw him, and then he directed me in season 11. And he and my wife have become really good friends. He's an artist. And so he saw that tongue and he's like, it's Lucifer's tongue, it's gotta be forked. Nice little creative touch. The things Lucifer could do with that tongue. What do you guys, what? I'm just thinking he can eat 2 scoops of ice cream simultaneously. Where are you guys going?
First off, I'd like to say that you're awesome, and I'm wondering how long on average it takes to apply to special effects makeup often associated with your character Lucifer, and has anything ever gone wrong regarding special effects makeup?
Yeah, that makeup was only latex, liquid latex that would dry, and then they'd paint in it and around it and on it, and it only took about 45 minutes to apply. But I did do a movie where I had a 6-hour makeup application. And nothing has gone wrong. I've never had a makeup malfunction while it's happening. It is tremendously uncomfortable. That particular movie that had the 6-hour makeup, I had to be up at 3:30 in the morning, get it done, and then shoot the entire day on the Gulf of Mexico. And it was like 90 with 80% humidity and full prosthetic makeup. It was really, had a fat suit. It was kind of tough. The part that's hazardous in the special effects makeup world is, in order to make face makeup, they have to put your head in a cast. And okay, how many people here are claustrophobic? Okay, you have no idea what claustrophobia is until you have freezing cold alginate poured over your face, and you can only breathe through these little holes, and then they put plaster over your entire head. Your entire head. Your ears are clogged with it, your eyes, it goes into your mouth. The only thing you're breathing out of are these 2 little teeny holes, and you're inside that cast for about 20 minutes or so. There are some actors that can't do it. But I take it as a challenge, because I'm a little bit claustrophobic. Okay, I just admitted it. I'm a little bit claustrophobic, so I take it as a challenge to really focus on something other than the fact that my head is in a cast and I can't get out. And once I start going there, it's crazy. But that's where people have literally torn the thing off. Actors. There are some actors, I won't mention any names, John Travolta, apparently, who can only wear a quarter of it at a time. They can only put a quarter of it on at a time. It's frightening. It's frightening. That answer your question? Fantastic. What's up? Yeah?
Hi.
Hey.
So my question was, since you've played a bunch of different species, like an angel and supernatural, a vampire and being human, and like Lost Jacob, what was your favorite species to play and why?
Well, I mean, I'm going to say something that you think it's just because I'm here, but I actually like Lucifer. It's not my favorite character that I've ever played, but amongst those that you said, Lucifer's my favorite. Because he has so much potential. And there's so much he can do. And that hasn't been tapped yet. And I'm interested in seeing where it goes. What about you?
I think that your vampire was pretty cool on being human. I really like that show too, so they're kind of in a tie between Lucifer and Bishop.
You know what, I think what's great about Supernatural and what was good about Being Human is that, you know, you're in a genre that's huge and deals with sort of huge apocalyptic things. Even in the vampire world, there was apocalypses and plagues and, you know, all kinds of things going on in that show. But in essence, it's about friendship and loyalty and family, and in essence, that's what Supernatural is. Even on the celestial level, it's brothers and sisters and fathers and sons and the turmoil and angst that goes on between them. And so, you know, Lucifer was, I think, relatable. Nick was relatable. I think that's what makes them great, is that as iconic as they are, they're struggling with the same things that we struggle with on a daily basis, right? Reconciling ourselves to our parents and trying to understand who and what they are. And our actions are sort of a result of where we've come from. And these are all themes that I think are dealt with in Supernatural pretty good. By the way, I took that quiz online, you know, where you get to see what Supernatural character you are. Guess what Supernatural character I was?
Sam.
What do you think?
Cass?
I was Dean! I was like, I'm a fucking rock star. I'm bad. I don't give a shit. I'll kill you. Don't cry. Sam!
My question is, what was it like having Mark Sheppard as your personal slave for just a little bit?
You mean when I was beating the crap out of him that time? Hitting him over the head with things? Slamming him into shelves?
Maybe you like the floor and everything? When you were...
I wish I was there for that, to be honest with you. But I like the idea. But they gave me a little bit of fun there for a time, being in Cass's head, right? Wreaking havoc on Crowley, who always gets out of everything. What the fuck? I mean, over watching the seasons, I have to respect the guy's ability to he's like the Teflon demon. Nothing sticks to the guy. He can get out of anything. It's clever. You gotta respect a guy like that, right? Certain intelligence, he's got a savvy, he knows the way the world works. He's able to exploit it for his own purposes, and he even helps the boys. Yeah, no wonder you love him. You know, when I beat the crap out of everybody in the cage, I got hate tweets for that. Like, thousands of hate tweets. And then people who liked Lucifer were like, dude, he's the devil. Guys, Sam and Dean kill people all the time. They kill people. What do you think is happening when they are killing a demon? They're killing a person. Double standards. I think they had a little beating coming. A little, right? Cass made a lot of mistakes. He had a beating coming. I think they were better for it in the end.
Hi, I'm Heidi. My question is, since you've been cast as both God and the devil in different projects, did people just think of you as those characters, or how did that casting come about for both of those roles?
Actually, Lucifer was offered, which is nice. As an actor, some of the most terrible things you have to do are the audition process. It's quite nerve-wracking and silly. But Lost, I got the call. I actually read the pilot, went up for the pilot, and when I read for that, it was only a treatment, like a 23-page treatment, and it was one of the greatest things I'd ever read. It was, suspenseful, page-turning, crazy good script. And I went up for another part a couple of years later, but so when Jacob came around, I almost refused to go to the audition because I had 4 auditions that day. And it was a 7-page scene with tons of dialogue. And I said, there's just no possible way I can do it and make it work. And my wife was like, you're insane, it's a great show, go in. So as usual, my wife makes me a better man. I went in feeling unprepared and not quite sure whether I was gonna do well, but it was a fun, good audition, I think. The character's name was Jason, it's all secret, so if the sides get out, nobody knows what's really happening. Oh, the boys are coming out. You guys were so quiet. Thank you.
It's not out of respect, it's out of fear.
So I did the audition, found out 3 weeks later I got it, and I didn't know what the part was until I actually landed, went on the set for a fitting, and one of the actors came up to me and said, you're our Jacob. So I had no idea what part it was until I actually was there. Crazy, right?
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome.
How was it, Mark?
What?
Alright guys, I gotta go. I gotta photo op.